Some people call this God's money. How do you buy this stuff? And why do people buy this stuff? And do you have to buy the physical form, or is there another option? That's what we're going to be talking about in this video. And if you hang around to the end of the video, we'll be discussing some of the skeptics' views on gold and silver. But first, a quick history lesson. Up until fairly recently, gold and silver was used for methods of payment. This was really impractical. It was very heavy to carry around, and if you could imagine large payments, the kinds made by countries and nations, they would have to send ships and ships of gold just to complete the payment. And what made it even worse is that this would attract thieves and pirates who would steal the gold and silver. To overcome some of these issues, countries started developing notes or paper style money, and this is called fiat currency. The problem with fiat currency is it's normally controlled by a central government or a central bank, and they can print as much as they like. And when you continuously print money, it loses value, and this is otherwise known as inflation. So one of the reasons people typically buy gold and silver is to preserve wealth. They don't want to store their wealth in paper money where they can't control the printing of that. They want to store their wealth in a commodity like gold or silver to protect against inflation. Now, I'm not necessarily making that recommendation, but that's something that people do because it's physical, right? You can touch it, you can hold it. It's difficult to fake. Now, there are plenty of other storeholds of wealth, but that'll be the topic of another video. Let's take a look at this gold chart. It'll explain it really well. Here that you can see, the red line, there's a massive spike in inflation around 1981, and the gold price shoots up as well in line with inflation around that time, meaning that people are nervous about storing their wealth in money, in paper money, so they're fleeing to gold and silver. And then in 2009, where there's been a bit of a steadily increase in inflation, the gold price has really rallied. Now, there are a couple of different options for physically buying gold and silver. If you have a gold or silver vendor where you live, you can just go there and buy it. If you don't, you can look online and have it shipped to you, but be sure to take out the necessary insurances or maybe have it delivered to a lockbox or a secure location if you're going to take that option. Now, if you don't want to physically hold the gold or silver on your premises, some vendors actually allow you to leave it in their vault. So you can buy it from them and leave it in their vault. They may charge you an admin fee or a handling fee for this service. Now, when buying gold and silver, what is key, what is the most important thing, is this thing called the spot price. So as gold and silver is a commodity, there are live prices quoted. And these are normally in US dollars. You can get the converted version in your local currency normally on the internet. So your absolute goal is buying as close to the spot price as possible. Anything that you pay more than the spot price is a premium that you're paying for the gold and silver. Now, having said all that, it is very rare to be able to buy gold and silver close to the spot price. And the reason is because it's normally businesses that are selling you this gold and silver. They have their own costs that they need to recover. So they build these costs into their price of the gold and silver. But the closer you can get to the spot price, the better. Now, the unit of measurement for gold and silver prices are ounces or a troy ounce. Don't ask me why that is. If anyone knows, please let me know in the comments below. But they're measured in ounces, and 1 ounce is about 30 grams. So take, for example, this 5 ounce bar, put it on the scales. It's 5.5 ounces, so I'll get a little bit more for my money, so that's pretty good. And convert it into grams, about 156 grams. Now, the most common form of gold and silver that you might find is called bullion. It's generally priced closer to the spot price. That's because it hasn't been processed too much. It's generally in a very standard shape. It's not overly pretty. It's not overly decorative. It looks something like this. Fairly standard. You can see it's written 5 ounces on there, plus the brand of the company, and the quality of silver, 999.5. Pretty standard. Now, if all you want is exposure to the spot price of gold and silver, then bullion's definitely the way to go. Now, there are other more decorative pieces, especially in coins, that are priced quite a lot higher than the spot price. And that's because of the additional work that's gone into them. Now, the value of these items comes later on when someone else equally thinks that they're pretty, that they look good, and will hopefully agree to pay you a premium for these items. If you're just looking for exposure, the gold and silver spot price, these are probably not the way to go. These are more a collector's piece, something pretty to look at. Not what you need if you're just looking to get exposure to the spot price. Now, as an alternative to buying physical gold, if you don't want to hold physical gold, but you still want exposure to the gold and silver price, One alternative is buying a company that actually mines gold on the stock exchange. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to be making any recommendations here, but that's something you can quite easily look up, different gold miners on different stock exchanges around the world. Or alternatively, if you don't want to buy a mining company, you can look for what's a gold or silver ETF, or an exchange traded fund. And what this is normally a holding company, a skeleton company, and its sole purpose, what it does, is actually buys and holds the gold and silver itself. So instead of you buying the gold and silver, you buy a share or a stock in this company, in this ETF, and this company buys the gold and silver. That's another way of buying gold and silver where you don't have to do it physically. Now, naturally, there are plenty of skeptics for buying gold and silver. Let's take a listen to what Dave Ramsey has to say.
My gut feeling is to invest it in gold.
No.
No?
We don't put anything in gold. No. If you don't need it and you want to let it sit somewhere, let it sit in a good mutual fund. That's fine.
That would do better than gold?
Oh, absolutely. I own some gold cufflinks, and that's the only gold I've got.
Why is gold so volatile?
Gold is a commodity. Okay? It's a rock that is yellow, and commodities are all traded 100% based on people's perception of shortage. Betting on, and commodities are all more volatile than investments that actually create revenue.
There are some supporters of gold and silver, like Robert Kiyosaki. Let's take a listen.
You don't buy gold coins to make money. You buy gold coins because the dollar is going to go down. I don't trust the dollar. For most of my life, I've saved gold and silver. So what I do is I'll borrow, let's say, $20 million. The cash flow buys this. This is God's money. God put it here. God put this, I'm not religious, but I'm just, and this here was put by God. This here is to be flushed down the toilet.
Now, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video should be taken to be financial advice. I hope you did enjoy the video and you learned something new. And if you did, please consider hitting the like button. It really helps push the video out to other viewers. And if you want to see more from me, then please consider joining our community and subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video.